remote control for that, maybe?
I do. It works sometimes and other times it doesn't.
You get them from a Telstra shop or something, get them?
Oh, it came with the stand.
Oh, with the stand, right.
So welcome to Wednesday morning Vinyasa Flow at PCYC. For those of you who are new, Malcolm, I'll guide you through a 1 hour Vinyasa Flow. Today we'll do some more stretching and maybe just do some an easier type flow class, just so everybody can use your blocks for support and hold the stretches a little bit longer. And yeah, if you feel like you need to take a break, you can always just come into a child's pose position just to rest if anything is too strenuous for you. So if you'd like to come down onto the mats, and here if you
I'll sit down.
yeah, come and sit down. If you'd like to put the blocks under your knees for support, or you could sit up on a block. And here, we're just gonna lengthen our spine. You can have your knees out if you want some support, if that's more comfortable, whatever feels comfortable for you. Yeah, or you could have your knees up here. And let's just try to lengthen our spine. And here we're just gonna take a few moments just to relax our mind and focus on our breath. So let's bring one hand to our heart and one hand to our stomach. Sit up nice and straight. Drop your shoulders down. You can gently close your eyes. Bring your lips together. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. In through the nose and out through the nose. Feeling our stomach rise and fall, expand, and then all the air coming out. Dropping those shoulders down, creating that space in your neck. Just feeling grounded, relaxing your mind, and focusing on your breath. So trying to take equal breaths in and equal breaths out. On the inhale, you can pause at the top of your breath for a moment and then exhale. This is calming your mind, resting your heart. Take a few more breaths, and when you feel ready, you can bring your hands down to your knees. Resting your backs of your hands on your knees. Taking a few moments here. And then gently opening up your eyes. Here we're going to come in and do our spinal warm-ups. So if you'd still like to stay seated, if that's comfortable for you, let's just bring our hands up to the ceiling, palms facing each other, lengthening our arms, looking up at our fingertips, bringing our arms to our ears. We're gonna bring our left hand to our right knee, right hand behind us, looking over your back shoulder. Getting a nice spinal twist here, so you can use that back hand to pull yourself around more for further resistance. And releasing, coming back up to center. And here, let's just come forward. Use your fingertips to pull yourself forward, trying to bring your chest down towards the floor, getting a nice stretch underneath that leg. using your hands to walk yourself up. Hands up to the ceiling, gazing at your fingertips, right hand to left knee, left hand behind you looking over your back shoulder. And releasing. Coming back to center, let's just cross our legs the other direction, just so you get a nice stretch underneath your other leg. If your legs are crossed, hands up to the ceiling, and then just coming forward once again. Use your fingertips to lengthen your spine, pulling your chest towards the floor. And then using your hands to walk yourself up. You can rest your hands on your knees, and we're just gonna do some neck warm-ups. So let's bring our chin down towards our chest. Gently feeling that stretch up your spine. And then gazing forward. And then right ear to right shoulder. Coming back to center, left ear to left shoulder. Back to center, chin to chest. And back to center. And now we'll do right ear to right shoulder, and then you can swoop it down, chin to chest, left ear to left shoulder, and then back the other way, chin to chest, back over. So whatever feels good for you. For me, I can feel the stretch down the top of my neck through to my sitting bone. Just some neck warm-ups here. We'll do a couple more. And then we'll meet back at center again. So just coming back to center, gazing forward. Here, you can remove your blocks if you've got your blocks there. And then we'll come back onto our backs. Bend your knees, bring your hands to your sides, palms facing down. Let your head rest into the mat. Your shoulders are supported by the mat. And here we're gonna kick both of our feet up and lengthen our legs straight. Flexing your feet, keeping your shoulders on the mat, keeping your chin tucked to your chest. This is our reclined plane position. We're taking a nice inhale through the nose and exhale. Getting a nice stretch in your lower back. Here we're going to bring our arms out to a T, palms facing down. Bring your left leg all the way down onto the mat. Bring your right foot down, bending your knee. Bring your right toe underneath your left straight leg. And now roll over to the left and look over to the right, keeping your shoulders on the mat. You can drop that knee all the way over to wherever it can reach. Just looking over to the right side and making sure you try to keep your shoulders down on the floor. So we're getting a nice abdominal twist here. Take a nice inhale through the nose and exhale. And now with that top bent knee, we're going to lengthen it straight and rest your foot on the ground if it reaches, or wherever it goes. So you're forming a scissor-like position here. So you're looking over to the left still, getting a nice further twist here. Bend that top knee, bring the toe behind your left straight leg, roll back to center, hug both knees to your chest and do a rock from side to side. So we're massaging our lower back. Bringing your arms out to a T, drop both feet down, bent knees, lengthen your right leg straight, left toe under right leg, and now roll over to the right and look over to the left, keeping your shoulders on the mat. Taking a nice inhale and exhale. And now lengthening that top leg straight, resting the foot on the ground if it reaches or wherever it goes for a further abdominal twist. And bending that top knee, bringing the toe underneath your leg again, rolling back to center, hugging both knees to your chest, doing a nice little rock from side to side. Here we're going to put our knees on our hands on our knees and do 3 rocks to seated. So 1, 2, 3. Coming up, kick your feet around to the side, come onto your hands and knees, and we're going to come into our child's pose. So we're going to bring our knees to the width of the mat, bring our toes together, sit back into your heels, bring your hands forward and rest your forehead into the mat, sitting into your heels, bringing your chest down towards the mat. Lengthening your arms, trying to bring that chest down, lengthening your spine. Taking a nice inhale and exhale in our child's pose. And now just coming up onto your fingertips, so just bringing your fingertips into the mat. You can keep your head still rested in the mat, getting a nice little stretch under those fingers, your arm. And now you can just walk your hands over to the left, so you're getting a nice curve in your left waist. So this is like lateral rotation of our spine. So nice curve in the left waist, stretching out the right side. Taking those nice breaths in and out through your nose. You can walk your hands back to center and over to the other side. And back to center again. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, spread those fingers, weight into your hands, and come up to your hands and knees. So now we've got our wrists under our shoulders, our fingers are nicely spread apart. Let's come out on a little bit of an angle to the edge of your mat, and your knees are under your hips. Toes are rested on the mat. We're just going to do our flexion and extension of our spine for our cat-cow. So we're going to exhale, tilt our pelvis, round our back, tuck our chin into our cat. And then arch your back, looking forward into your cow. Inhale, exhale, tilt, round, tuck your chin. Inhale, arch your back, looking forward into your cow. So we'll just do a couple more of these. So that's just your flexion and extension of your spine. One of the 6 warm-ups of your spinal warm-ups. If you have sore wrists in this pose, you can always come onto your knuckles too, or you can roll your mat underneath your wrist for further support. We'll do one more and then we'll just meet back at the center again. So at neutral spine, so that means your back is flat. You've got equal weight in your wrists and your knees. Tail wagging dog. So let's just bring our right foot out to the right, our right heel. Trying to bring it all the way around so you're getting a nice curve in that waist, looking at your right heel, back behind you, and over to the left side. So we'll do that 3 times on each side. Lateral rotation of our spine. And one more time. And back behind you, just to give your wrists a bit of a break. We're just going to come down onto our forearms. Bring your fingers forward, bringing those hips up to the sky. We're going to tuck our toes, and we're just going to hover our knees off of the mat, looking back at your toes. In your dolphin pose, knee hover, working our legs, working our core, building strength, stretching our toes out, holding for 3, 2, 1. Drop your knees down, release your toes. You can tap out your toes. Let's just bring our knees together now. Toes together, sit back into your heels, rest your forehead into the mat. Bring your arms behind you, palms facing up, and roll out your wrists to the right. And then around to the left. In our rabbit's pose. Let's bring our hands to shoulder width, spread those fingers, come up onto your hands and knees, knees under hips, wrists under shoulders, and we'll do our spinal rotation. So I thread the needle. So weight into our left hand, right hand to your chest, right hand to the ceiling, looking up at the ceiling, creating one straight line with your arms, diving it underneath your left arm, bringing your head and shoulder onto the mat. Hips up to the ceiling. We'll do that 2 more times. So inhale, coming up, looking at those fingers, diving it through, exhale. One more time, inhale, spinal rotation, and exhale. Staying down here on the mat, keeping your head down and your shoulder down. Lengthen both arms straight so palms are on top of each other. Bring the left hand up to the ceiling. Wrap it around your back. Rest your hand on your back or tuck your fingers into your inner thigh. Pull your shoulders back and your shoulder blades together. Opening up your shoulders here. Take a nice inhale through the nose. and exhale. Two more breaths. Now we're going to unwind, come up to our hands and knees. Wrists under shoulders. We'll do the other side. So left hand to chest, left hand to ceiling, and diving it under your right arm. Head and shoulder on the mat. We'll do that 2 more times. So inhale, coming up, gazing at your fingers. Exhale, going down, threading it through. Inhale, coming up, and exhale. Staying down on the mat, let's lengthen both arms straight, palms on top of each other. Right hand to the ceiling, wrap it around your back. Tuck your fingers into your inner thigh if they reach. Now pull your shoulders back and your shoulder blades together. Nice shoulder opener here. Anybody who does desk work or picking up heavy things, opening up our shoulders. Take 2 more breaths here. And here we're just going to unwind, coming up to our hands and knees again. And we'll do our balancing tabletop before we come up and do some standing vinyasas and standing poses. So weight, equal weight in both of those wrists, under your shoulders. Let's raise our left leg off of the mat, bringing that heel up higher, gazing forward so your spine is straight. And here we're gonna bring our right hand, opposite hand, in our balancing tabletop. Creating one straight line with your arm and your hand, looking at your fingers, holding for 3, 2, 1. We're gonna bring our elbow to knee 3 times. 1, extend, 2, extend, 3. Wrap your hand around to the right, catch your back foot, kick your toes into your hand, and gaze forward in your tiger's pose. Holding for 3, 2, 1, releasing, well done. Bring your knees together, toes together, sit back onto your heels, rest your forehead into the mat, bring your hands behind you. Take a nice inhale through the nose and exhale. You can roll out the wrists, take a moment here in your rabbit's pose. So letting your shoulders hang heavy, no tension. Letting the weight fall into the back of your hands. Let's bring those hands underneath our shoulders, spread those fingers. Come up to your hands and knees, and we'll do our balancing tabletop on the other side. So knees are hip width apart again. Here we're gonna raise our right heel, lengthen our right leg, gaze forward. Left hand, looking at those left fingers at your balancing tabletop. Holding here for 3 counts. And elbow to knee 3 times. 1, extend, 2, extend, 3, And wrap your hand around to the left. See if you can catch your back foot. Sometimes one foot's easier than the other. Kick your foot into your hand, gaze forward, keeping your spine straight. Holding here for 3, 2, 1. Releasing, good job. Knees hip width apart, toes together, coming down into your child's pose. Sitting into those heels, bring your chest towards the mat. Use your fingers to lengthen your spine. Take 3 nice inhales through the nose and exhale. Bring your hands back down to shoulder width, spread those fingers. We're gonna come up and then we're gonna flow 3 times through to our up dog. So we're gonna come up, bring your knees in, and come all the way through. Bring your chest down, bent elbows, and gaze forward. You can release your toes on the ground so your legs are straight. And we're just gonna push back, sit back in our child's pose, and then flow through to our up dog. Nice little spinal warm up. You can push back into your hands, expand those knees further, sitting back into the heels. And we'll do that one more time. Pushing back on the last time, you can come back to your hands and knees. Here, let's just bring our fingers towards us and come onto the backs of the wrists. Just do a slight sitting back into your heels just to stretch those wrists out. So we've been on our wrists a little bit. And then unfold them again, bring them underneath your shoulders. Spread those fingers. Tuck my ponytail into my top. Here we're going to get ready to come into our downward facing dog. So fingers nicely spread, equal weight in your hands. Here we're gonna tuck our toes and we're gonna push back into our downward facing dog. So lengthening your legs, straightening your legs and your arms, bringing those hips up to the ceiling, keeping your chin tucked to your chest, looking back at your toes or your eyes can be closed. Here you can pedal out your heels. So trying to bring those heels down towards the mat. Equal weight in your toes, the soles of your feet, the ends of your fingers, the soles of the palms of your hand. So 3 breaths here, holding, working our whole body. Here we're just going to do a little walk up to the top of our mat. So walking forward, hanging forward, legs are straight, or you can have a slight bend in your knees, toes are facing forward. We're going to bind our elbows, tuck your chin to your chest and hang forward, and just do a little rock from side to side. Chin tucked to your chest, letting your neck hang, your shoulders are hanging. And have a slight bend in those knees just so you don't hyperextend your legs. And here you can release your elbow bind and just let your arms flop and dangle from side to side. Bring your hands to your shins, take a slight bend in your legs, keep your chin tucked to your chest, and roll up to standing. Here, let's just roll our shoulders back, dropping your shoulders down, standing nice and straight. And we can roll our shoulders forward. Let's bring our arms up overhead. Grab your right wrist and just do a little stretch to the side, so you're getting a nice curve in your waist. Finding that equal balance in your feet. The feet should be hip width apart, right underneath your hips. And then come back to center, grab your left wrist and over to the other side. And back to center. You can bring your hands down to your side. Here we're just gonna come into our mountain pose. I'm just gonna grab a drink of water. Grab a drink of water if you need one. So here we'll do some vinyasas just to warm our body. So if you want to come towards the top of your mat, let's bring our hands to our sides. Feet are directly underneath your hips. Hands to the side, dropping your shoulders down, standing nice and straight, gazing forward. You can gently close our eyes and feel that equal weight in your toes and your heels. Your spine is nice and strong. Your legs are like tree trunks, nice and sturdy in the ground. Take a nice inhale through the nose and exhale. Here we're gently going to open our eyes and we'll come through to our hands-free vinyasa. So we're going to sit back into our chair, our powerful pose, like you're sitting back into a chair, bending those knees. Sweep your arms through. Breathe in, hands to heart center, coming up to standing, hands down your midline, all the way down to your forward fold. Exhale. Nose to knees. Inhale to your halfway lift. Straight arms, straight legs, flat back. Looking forward. Sitting back into that chair, sweeping your arms through, hands to heart center, to mountain pose, Tadasana. To the side, we'll do that 2 more times. So inhale, powerful pose. Exhale, forward fold, nose to knees. Inhale, halfway lift, straight arms, straight legs, looking forward. Sitting back into the chair, sweeping your arms through, to mountain pose, Tadasana. We'll do it 1 more time. Inhale, hands to heart center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, sitting back into that chair, sweeping your arms through. And here we're gonna stay. Gonna work a little bit harder. Switch that core on, sit back into that chair. Bring your left fingers to the back of the room, looking at your left fingers. Left fingers forward. Right hand to the back of the room, looking at your right fingers. Right hand forward. Both hands down to your forward fold, nose to knees. Up to your halfway lift, straight arms, straight legs, looking forward. Sitting back into that chair, sweeping your arms through, hands to heart center, to Tadasana, mountain pose. Nice. Half standing vinyasa, sweeping your arms through, powerful pose. Inhale, exhale, forward fold, nose to knees. Inhale, halfway lift, gazing forward. Both hands on mat in front of your hands. Bring your right foot back, pivot that back heel, lunge in that front knee, so back heel's on the mat, lunge in that front knee, knee over ankle, hips facing forward, sweep through, warrior one. Gazing at your fingers. Holding here, back leg is straight, nice and strong into the mat, front knee is bent. Hands to either side the front foot, stepping forward. Step your left foot back, pivot that back heel, lunge in that front knee, find your balance, and then sweep your arms through, coming up to warrior one. Taking a breath here, hands to either side of the front foot, stepping forward, sitting back into the chair, sweeping your arms through, hands to heart center, to Tadasana, mountain pose. Nice, sun salutation A. Inhale, hands to heart center, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, gazing forward, both hands on mat. Weight into your hands. Let's step both feet back into your plank. Dropping those hips down, holding here. Let's come into our supported plank, so drop your knees down onto the mat, release your toes, keep your elbows tucked to your waist, chest comes down first into your chaturanga, and then come up to your up dog, which is your bent elbows, or you can come to your sphinx, gazing forward, hands under shoulders, tuck your toes, push back, downward facing dog. Taking 3 rounds of breath here, lengthening your arms, your legs, keeping your chin tucked to your chest. Inhale through the nose and exhale. This is a resting position, keeping your heart, your head is below your heart. Let's take a walk, skip, or jump to the top of the mat. Sit back into your chair, powerful pose. Sweep your arms through, hands to heart center, to Tadasana. Sun salutation B, so we'll put that all together. Inhale, powerful pose. Exhale, forward fold. Nose to knees, straight legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Straight arms, straight legs, flat back. Hands on mat, stepping back to your plank. Dropping those hips down, holding here. Drop your knees, release your toes. Keep your elbows tucked to your chest. Bring your chest down to your chaturanga. Come into your Sphinx, Cobra, or Up Dog, gaze forward. Tuck your toes, push back, downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath here. Here we're gonna come in through to our warrior one. So you're gonna bring the weight into your left foot. Raise your right foot off of the mat. Step it through to the top of the mat between your hands. Pivot that back heel. Nice lunge in that front knee. Sweep through, warrior one. Gazing at your fingers, arms are straight, hips are facing forward. Exhale to your warrior two. So now your hips are at the long edge of the mat, looking over the front fingers, shoulders are back, arms are in a straight line. Palm facing up on the front hand. We're gonna come back, reverse back to the back of the room. Let that back hand slide down to your reverse warrior two. Back to your warrior two. Gazing at your front fingers. Bring that front elbow on the front knee, palm facing up, and then left hand up and over into your side angle pose. Here we're going to bring both hands either side of our front foot, so bringing our hips forward, Bring that front foot back into your plank. Drop the hips down, dropping to your knees, release the toes, come down into your chaturanga. Gazing up in your Sphinx, Cobra, or Up Dog. If you have any back problems, your Sphinx is nice. Bring your hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes, push back, downward facing dog. Taking 3 breaths here. And then we'll do the second side of our sun salutation, B, Surya Namaskara B. So weight into the right foot. Raise the left foot off of the mat, step it through to the top of the mat between your hands. Pivot that back heel. Lunge in that front knee. Sweep through. Warrior One, gazing at your fingertips. Extend your arms out straight to your Warrior Two. Shoulders are in line with your hips. Palms facing down. Bring that palm facing up on the front hand. Reverse it back to the back of the room. Let that hand slide down the back of your leg. Back to your Warrior Two. Looking over the front fingers. Front elbow to front knee. Palm facing up. Right hand up and over. Palm facing down into your side angle pose. Both hands to either side of your front foot. Bring those hips facing forward. Raise that back heel. And here we're going to step through to the top of the mat. Sit back into your chair. Sweep your arms through. Hands to heart center. To mountain pose Tadasana. Well done. Shake it out. Here we're just going to come in and just do a little standing sequence with our wide-legged forward fold. So we're back at the top of our mat again. We'll take a big step back with our right foot. And here we're going to bring our toes towards each other and our heels out. So both toes in, both heels out. Equal weight in your toes, your heels stand up nice and straight. Let's bind our fingers behind us, interlace your fingers, drop your shoulders down. And here we're going to hinge at our front hip. So we're going to hinge forward, tuck your chin to your chest, and bring those hands up overhead. So working our legs, opening up our shoulders again. Take a nice inhale through the nose and exhale. In our wide-legged forward fold. Keeping your chin tucked to your chest. Here, release your finger, bind, and bring your hands straight down, your fingers straight down onto the mat for support. Your back can be flat. Looking straight down at the mat. And here we're going to walk our hands over to our right ankle. Bind your right ankle with your left hand. If it reaches, or bring your just hand to towards your foot. Bring your right hand to your chest. And then right hand up to the ceiling, looking at your right fingers in your rotated forward fold. Getting a nice stretch underneath your right leg. Holding here for a few more breaths. Releasing, coming back to center, fingers on mat, gazing forward, gazing down. Equal weight in those heels and toes, walking over to the left side, binding your left ankle with your right hand to your chest, and then left hand up to the ceiling, looking at your left fingers and your rotated forward fold on this side. us here. And releasing. Coming back to center. Gazing at your fingertips. Here, let's just bring our feet facing forward now. And we're just gonna do 3 squats from side to side. So use your hands for support, and you can squat into that right leg. Extend your left leg straight onto the mat. Using your hands for support, coming through, bending that left knee, extending that right leg straight. Getting a nice stretch underneath the inner thigh. We'll just do that 2 more times to each side. For further challenge, you can have your hands to heart center and come all the way up and over. Do 1 more time to the back. And then just coming up, straightening both legs. Let's just bring our toes back in again, heels out. Gazing straight down at the mat. We're gonna bring our hands to our sides, palms facing down. Holding here, working our whole body. To your waist, take a slight bend in your knees, tuck your chin to your chest, weight into the feet, and roll up to standing slowly so you don't get a bit dizzy. Here, let's just bring our toes out, heels in, straighten our legs. Take a moment here. Bring your hands to your heart center, drop your shoulders down, shoulders back. Got equal weight in your heels and your toes. And here we're just gonna squat down into our goddess pose. Squatting down, raising your fingers up to the ceiling. Arms are back towards your ears, sitting into your chair-like, opening up those knees. Holding in your goddess, holding. And coming up again, resting. We'll do that 1 more time. See if you can come a bit deeper. Coming down, fingertips up to sky. See if you can sit a bit deeper. Holding. We've got some spectators. They want to come in. 1, 2, 3. Coming back up. Stepping to the top of your mat. Shaking it out. Well done. Here we're going to come down onto the mat, and we'll just do a few seated poses, and then we can finish with a bit of a shavasana. Bit of a wind down. So let's just come back to the middle of our mat. You can bring your feet out to the edge, heels facing in, hands to heart center. And here, if your block is handy too, you might need your block, but we're gonna squat down, coming into our garland pose. If you can reach your block, you can come and sit on top of your block, opening up your knees, in our garland pose. And bring those heels down to the mat if they reach. We don't want too much of a tower. I don't want you to tumble over. Anyways, it's just an easier way to come down onto the mat. So take a breath here. And then use your hands for support, and let's just come down onto the mat. Good job. Extending our legs straight. We're gonna flex our toes. Let's bring our hands up to the sky, gazing at our fingertips. And just come forward in your forward fold. You can bind your toes, bringing your chest towards your legs. You can have a block at the end of your feet if you need to, holding onto the block. You can have your hands rested on the mat, wherever feels good for you. And use your hands to walk yourself up. Keeping that left leg straight, we're gonna bend that right knee. Bring the left hand up, left elbow over right knee, right hand behind you, looking over your back shoulder. Releasing, let that knee drop out to the side, tuck it in to your inner thigh, both hands up to the ceiling, head to knee on this side. You may be able to come a bit deeper into the pose. Again, you can bind your foot, rest your hands on the mat, take a block and use a block. Releasing, extending your right leg straight, bending that left knee, right hand up, right elbow over left knee, left hand behind you. Nice twist here, looking over your back shoulder. Releasing, let the knee fall out to the side, tuck your foot into your right inner thigh. Hips are facing forward, both hands up, looking at your hands, lengthening your spine and coming forward, head to knee on this side. And releasing, coming up. Bring both legs forward. Let's come down, all the way down onto your mat. Bring your arms up overhead. Point those toes. Lengthen your fingers. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. 2 more falling out breaths in through the nose and out through your mouth. 1 more, in through the nose and out through your mouth. Bringing your hands down to your sides, palms facing up. You can let your feet fall out to the sides. Here you can have one hand on your heart, one hand on your stomach, or your palms facing out. If you have any back problems or sore back, or you can have your knees bent up too, whatever feels comfortable for you. And here we'll take a few moments of relaxation, of Shavasana, to wind down. Your head is fully relaxed into your mat. Your lips are gently touching. Your jaw is relaxed. You're letting your tongue fall into the back of your throat. Your shoulders are relaxed. toes, wiggle your fingers. Rock your head from side to side, warming up your neck. And then bending both knees and rolling over to one side. Taking a moment there. Using one hand for support, coming up to seated position, and we'll close the class together. Bringing your hands to heart center, we can bow down, thumbs to forehead. Thank you all for coming along and practicing with me today. From the light in me to the light in each of you. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Sweat there.
You got a bit of a sweat. That's good.
Did the trick.
Yeah, it's great.